What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Chicago, for Chicago, by Chicago. I am your host, Sean Little. Nick the Quick is in here as always.
Victory Tuesday,
Victory
baby.
Tuesday. We're talking Bulls, Bears first. LaVine went nuts in the Garden.
Yeah, a little OT game in the Garden.
Nuts.
Yeah.
We're going to talk Bears must-win games coming. The season starts for me on Sunday.
Okay.
Quenneville fired. I'm not going to flex.
Man.
We don't know shit about the Blackhawks.
Nope.
But Quenneville got fired.
Yeah.
Icon. He got 3 chips.
3 chips, man.
If I know Cuz and I know what he looks like, he's a legend. He's a hockey coach because I don't know any other hockey coaches in the league.
No.
So we're going to talk about that. I voted today. Big Nick the Quick voted today. We're going to talk some trending topics across the landscape. Man, the Cowboys are a mess. We're going to talk about that. Just stuff that's popping in the news cycle right now.
Yep.
We're going to touch on. What's good?
What's going on, man? How we doing?
We're on time. I said we were going to go live at 7.
7:04 right now on the dot.
We should be live right now. So I hope that's rocking correctly.
Let's roll in some comments and some questions today.
Yeah, we're live right now. Let's go.
That was decent.
Let me click on this and make sure we got it up. But look at that.
Yeah.
Bang. Yeah, we're up there. We're live.
Get it.
All right. How you doing?
Good.
How's the weekend?
It was good, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, shout out Will, man. Will had his annual Nightmare Before Christmas party over there at Aragon Ballroom. So his guy Nightmare performed. Yeah. Had a little backstage situation.
Yeah.
I had one too many.
Yeah.
You know, just it was good.
It was fun.
It was good. A lot of people came through, man. Colin came through. AJ came through. Brett came through with his wife.
Shout out Prop Call. Shout out Willie Runs.
Yeah, everybody, man. It was good.
Yeah, Willie Runs always takes care of you if you check
does,
out the show, man.
Yeah.
So I got to show love for that.
Shout out Will, man. Definitely, man. He knows how to
man.
throw a party. There was no need that was unmet. You know, I think we were drinking tequila early in the night. Yeah. I told him, I was like, man, I want some scotch. And Will got me a bottle,
some scotch.
Bottle of 12-year Glenlivet, and it was all downhill from there, man.
There you go.
Yeah,
good vibrations, man. Nightmare, Slander,
shout out
good
Nightmare,
vibrations.
shout out Slander, shout out all those people, man. That was a good time. Definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to Toro Imoa tonight.
Yeah. At
Talia Hall.
Toro's serious.
Toro is that guy. Yeah. I've been trying to see this show for a minute. Like probably 5 years. Yeah. And he usually does smaller venues, so I can never catch dude. So I'm excited to catch that tonight.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Let's talk the Bulls in the Garden last night. We done lost some close games. I think like the last 5 are combined 11 points.
Good.
We get I love how you've come full circle on that. That's so great, by the way. Now it's good when the Bulls are losing. But anyway,
what are you gonna do?
We're in the Garden last night. Have you ever seen a game in the Garden?
No. I haven't been. I've never been to New York City as an adult.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so
what is happening?
Nah, that's funny. Yeah, I know, but yeah, I've never been to New York City as an adult. It's one of those things, bro. I got so many places I want to go. Like you start putting all the places you want to go, and it's like shit just gets pushed back. People get married, that kills one of your trips. Not everybody can jet set like you. You know what I mean? I know this means nothing to you.
I don't have. Yeah, I'm a little fortunate to where I'm. Yeah, you know.
Next couple of years, I'm hitting some spots hard. You know, I'll be in New York within the next 12 months. I already know that.
Okay, word. Yeah, you got to get out there. I saw LeBron drop a triple-double in the Garden.
Nice.
So that was sick. It does have this mystique to it. You know what I think a big thing about it is? It's obviously New York City.
Right.
And it's the Garden, and there's been tons of games, tons of performances. Everybody that's anyone has performed there or played there. That combined, it's that dim, the lights shut off in the crowd and the spotlight on the court. Make shit 10 times cooler.
Right.
Like, that's a big thing.
Old school.
Yeah, the old school, like, you can't see the crowd's dark and all the lights are on the court. I think that makes shit really cool.
Yeah.
LaVine went crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Let me kick it off by saying this. I was dead ass wrong about everything I said about LaVine. If you go back in the 3 or 4 months ago, we have a couple pods talking about LaVine and the contract coming up.
Yeah, we've given it to him.
What should we pay him? What shouldn't we pay him? And we were on the side of this dude is pretty huff.
Empty buckets.
Empty baskets. Doesn't play any defense.
Yeah, which is still true.
$20 million a year. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Jump off a bridge.
Right. Just not that type of player, man. I think neither of us were too high on him. You know, we liked it in the trade, obviously, to get a look at him, but not to give him all that kind of money. Definitely not to be, you know, like the number 2 rebuilding piece for what we want going forward. So we 100%. Killed him, man. Yeah.
We killed him, and I'm gonna swallow all those words so far.
Oh, you're all the way.
Why wouldn't I be?
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'll give him this, man. I mean, through the first however many games we've played, and I think we were talking about this before, he's playing hard. He's bringing it every night. You know, a game like last night where it's not just getting the 41 points, but it's when he got them, how he got them, you know, really bringing it down the stretch. In the fourth quarter, just taking crazy threes and knocking them down and really putting out those winning performances. I take my hat off to him, man. He's definitely proven us wrong thus far. I'm not ready to completely say that, hey, Zach LaVine is a cornerstone type player and he's changed his game completely. But the early returns on the Zach LaVine contract and him being the man and the one are good. It'll all come together when Portis, Dunn, and Markkanen come back, obviously. But so far, so good, for sure.
He looks
like a monster,
like a beast, bro. Yeah. Can go to the bucket at any time.
Anytime, yeah.
Can go to the basket at any time from what I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I haven't seen him against super elite defensive players like, I guess, Kawhi or something like that. But it looks like
an outlier. So
that's an outlier, yeah.
100%.
He can go to the bucket whenever he wants.
Yep.
He's scoring. He's efficient all of a sudden. Now he's all of a sudden efficient. He's shooting like 45%. He's doing everything right. The defense is never going to be there because that's just one of those things where he's just not a defensive guy.
He's just not good at defense.
But, exactly. But he's trying his ass off.
It's not Jabari.
He's trying his ass off.
Yeah, he's bringing it.
If you were watching the game, the Bulls got the win last night. Double overtime. If you were watching the game, there was a couple possessions where he was literally running all over the court, chasing the ball, trying to play defense as best he could.
Right.
The whole possession. Because as you know, we're not a good basketball team, and the Knicks aren't either. There was, I don't even know how many turnovers last night, like almost 40.
Yeah, it was bad basketball.
Yeah, almost 40 turnovers. So there was a couple possessions where the ball was bouncing around and all over the place. LaVine was after it all over.
Yeah.
He was going wherever the ball was bouncing around. He was trying to pick it up. And then when we did get the possession off a turnover or what have you, he was pushing the ball up the court and looking to get a basket.
Yep.
He looks in great shape. His knees look great. Or his knee,
he looks healthy, yeah.
He looks extremely healthy.
Extremely healthy, bouncy, springy.
All
the look on his eyes. And like I said, man, he's really taken that role as being the number one guy and stepped up to it, man. I mean, I cannot knock what Zach LaVine has done so far. And they're huge scoring performances, too. I mean, through the first 5 games, he was averaging 30 points a game.
Yeah.
41 last night. I think he's averaging, 28 points a game right now. Like you said, super efficient and, running all over the place, man, doing his thing.
Effort is there.
100%.
21 of his 41 in the final 15 minutes last night.
Yeah.
He had all 8 points in the second overtime. Banged down the final free throw we needed to seal the game. He's averaging 28-5, 4 assists in 35.5 minutes.
What are his splits, his shooting splits?
Oh, I didn't have it written down. I could pull it up, but
I know it's something around
decent.
like a 50-40.
It's something around
range,
like a 40. Yeah,
right. Which will obviously come back to earth, but for sure,
it's efficient.
Yeah,
I know at the line he's like 85% or something like that too. So
offensively, he's been everything you could possibly hope for from a number one scorer right now.
No doubt. I have 35.6 minutes a game. Are you a rounded up guy? Like, would you say 36 there?
That's 36 minutes a game.
That's 36 minutes.
36 minutes a game.
I'm all about the rounded up.
Yeah, that's 36 minutes a game.
If someone's got 7.5 rebounds and I rock with him, it's 8 rebounds.
See, that I don't do. When it comes to thing like, because the difference between 36.5 minutes and 37 minutes is 30 seconds. But the difference between that 7, I don't know, man. I guess.
What you mean?
To me, I don't round that up to 8 rebounds. That's 7.5 rebounds.
7.5 rebounds?
That's 7.5.
So what if it was 7.6
Because here's the
rebounds?
thing, man. If you average 29.5 points per game, you're not a 30-point per game scorer.
Well, that's a little different. But
you're not a 30-point per game scorer. You're a 29-point per game scorer, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
so I can't do it.
So you're not a rounded up guy.
I'm not a rounded up guy. I round up certain things. I see where you're coming from with the minutes I'd round it up, but no, I'm not rounding up. You don't get that extra half rebound from me. You don't get that extra half point. You got to earn that.
So if I'm talking and I'm like, yeah, he's going for 30 a night, you'd be like, nah, it's 29 a night.
Yeah, 29. That's 29.
That's petty.
He's not averaging 30.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Either way.
The math doesn't add up.
He's been balling.
Yeah.
And I saw this on Twitter this morning. I didn't catch this in the live telecast. Pull me up real quick, Aaron. This guy's confidence is off the chain. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't catch this in the He's at the line last night. He makes the first. Am I not connected? What's up?
Take your YouTube off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Am I not connected? This is where I'm talking about with his confidence. He hits the free throw to go up 116, 115.
Right,
There's 0.2 left.
Knows the game is won.
And knows the game is won. And they're like, basically, hey, if you miss it on purpose, the game's over type thing. He looks over at the bench, and I'm assuming he's talking to Fred or whoever. He goes, "You want me to make it?" And he winks at him.
Yeah.
Like, I can make it. I can
miss
it.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
I'm Zach LaVine.
Like, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Like, straight up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can do whatever you need me to do.
Yep. Confidence on a million.
Like that, I thought that was super impressive. You can pull that down.
Yeah.
I thought that was super impressive. I'm going to pull this YouTube back up. I'm just going to throw it on mute real quick. But I thought that was super impressive. That kind of shows where he's at.
Yep.
And it's just impressive for me, man.
It's good to see him doing that, man. It's good to see him stepping up. It's good to see him. We didn't think he was going to turn into a great defender. So that is what it is, right? We knew that about him. But I think the question was, could he become, we talked about it, you know, some guys can put up 20, but it's not the 20 that you want. Could he become one of those guys that puts up the 20, 25 that you want? And even though the team is so bad that it's hard to properly evaluate whether or not it's going to lead to winning because there's just nobody else out there with them really helping them. But except for your boy Blakeney, shout out Blakeney. But at the same time, man, you look at a game like last night where we needed those buckets to win the game. He went out and got them. The swag was there. The confidence was there. He was taking those threes. Unfortunately, so was Cam Payne.
Listen, before we get to that, like that possession where he hit 3 straight threes,
yeah,
ridiculous. Yeah. The confidence is there. Yeah. Everything is there, man. So I was happy to see that. You want to talk about Cam Payne?
I don't want to talk about Cam. I don't understand what. Yeah, let's talk about Cam Payne real quick because this is one of the things that frustrates me about the Bulls.
In the first overtime, when it was, I think it was 118, 118, I was shocked.
When you're evaluating guys, right, because that's what we're doing right now, what more do you need to see from this man?
He's had some look.
He had the 6 for 6 game.
He's had some flashes where people, I see what they must see sometimes.
Oh, you're coming around on Cam Payne?
No, I'm not coming around, but let's not destroy him. I don't think he should be playing. First off, anybody that's taken
this man is the captain of Destroy Cam Payne Island. So why are we not destroying him anymore?
No, I mean, listen, you were about to go crazy on him.
Yeah, he's trash.
He is trash. He's a bad point guard.
Watching him play basketball frustrates me.
He has nothing to. He has no business being an NBA point guard in the like a starting NBA point guard in the league. Absolutely not.
None at all.
So we're dealing with some injuries, whatever. He's bad, but he's been playing a little better. There were stretches where I wasn't even sure he'd ever played basketball before. Like I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like this dude really played basketball in college and he's in the league. Like so he's not playing that bad. He's still playing bad, but yes.
I could do without him and Holiday. You know, I could do without him and Holiday because I just don't feel like, especially, you know, I know I kill Holiday all the time, but I don't understand what we're waiting to see with this dude. Yeah. He is awful to me. He's just awful.
As you can see on the board right here, current Chicago sports GOATs, Eddie Jackson and Blakeney. He's already on the one name level.
Yeah.
Like you ain't even got to say his
super confidence.
You ain't even got to say his first name anymore for me.
Yeah.
That dude is an automatic basket.
Yeah.
I've been trying to tell y'all for years, by the way.
How did LSU not make the tournament with Simmons and Blakeney on the same squad?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they should have been, especially in the SEC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They weren't playing against anybody outside of Kentucky.
They should have been beating up on dudes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, who knows?
That's crazy. But no, Blakeney, man. I mean, yeah, I know that's your guy. You know, it's kind of like a joke, but at the same time,
it's not anymore.
No, it's not anymore. Like he's really playing.
He's really
playing, and he's showing he belongs in the league. I mean, there's a spot for that.
Well, let's get this straight. It was never a joke because I was always trying to tell y'all that like I'm watching him and I know he could score.
Right.
So like, if you give him some minutes, he's gonna get baskets.
Yeah, of course.
So it was never a joke, but like obviously me saying he's a GOAT, he's the best player in the league. Those are jokes, but. man, I love his game. I love his confidence.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't care. And I think low-key, that kind of rubs off on Campaign with some of those shots that he takes.
Yeah, but Campaign is
but
not
he's not supposed to be doing that.
He's not that.
They don't love you like that. Reminds me of? Yo, low-key, you know what that kind of reminds me of? That just came to me is Contreras and Javi Baez. Like, Contreras watches Javi Baez
and thinks he can do those things. Exactly. Yeah, and he can't do those things.
Contreras will try to do crazy shit.
You are not that guy.
He'll try to do crazy stuff on the base pass and do all this other stuff, and it's like, nah, that's not for you.
Javi can get away with that.
Javi,
even when Javi fucks it up, it's okay. Like if you fuck it up, it's like, nah, bro, you can't do that.
It's like I'm watching and I'm like, he 100% was watching Javi and thought that I better try this.
It's funny you say that because I've literally heard that debated before. Where they're like, yeah, Contreras sees Javi do this shit, and it's like, nah, bro, it's not for you.
Just chill.
Just chill.
Javi is Javi.
Be you. You do
you.
You do
I'll
you.
Do me. You do you.
What does Nagy's thing say? Be you.
Be you.
Be you.
Be you. Yeah. There you go. Now you always see that on the back of the sheet.
I can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it.
Yeah, like
now,
the whole game I was watching on Sunday, I just kept seeing his BU. So now I look for other coaches and see if I can see anything on their play card.
And I've never seen anything. Nah.
I wonder what Belichick says.
And like and if you think it's before we get into the Bears, if you think that's an accident, like the placement of that and how big it is, it's not.
It's not. He knows it's front and center. It's on both sides.
Yeah, it's on both sides, no doubt.
Yeah, BU.
So the Bulls finally got a W.
Yeah.
I was loving the play really hard, close games.
Yep.
And then losing. But the Knicks was one they were going to get.
The Knicks are trash.
Yeah.
You know, after all that shit you talk about, like how great the Garden is and all that, it's always like it's great for somebody else. Like it's great for opposing players to come in there.
Right.
It's great for a concert. When's it going to be great for New York Knicks basketball?
It's a good question.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking of all those moments, and I'm looking back in my head. I'm like, but yeah, what's the best Knicks moment I can ever think of the Garden? And it's not since I was a kid between, the Starks and Oakley and Ewing and all that. I mean, the Knicks have been trash for so long. It's a shame.
Yeah, it is.
It's honestly a shame.
It is, man.
Yeah.
It is for real.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Bulls coming up have Anthony Davis. That's going to be a tough game. Pellies are decent.
Yep.
Looking forward to that.
They're on a bad slide right now.
Yeah.
They lost like 5 straight, right? Did they win last night?
I'm not sure.
All right.
But the Bulls are just what the doctor ordered for that type of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And if Anthony Davis can see Felicio at any moment in the game, it should
Is it in Chicago?
No, I think it's in New Orleans.
I was going to say, because if Mirotic is coming home, he might have a 40-piece.
Yeah, no, I know it's in New Orleans because the boys stayed in New York last night. They didn't fly out of New York. So they might have got a W.
That's a rough one.
They might have got a W.
They got a W. You went out last night, and then the best place to go to after you go out is go to New Orleans because it's not like, you're going to sit in your hotel room.
Well, because they had a day off, too, so they might have went and got some dinner or something.
Yo, that's got to be a home court advantage for the Pelicans because nobody goes to New Orleans and doesn't kick it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it all depends on the schedule, man. I think a lot of those squads fly out the night right after the game more than you would think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if there's a day after.
Don't have downtime.
I mean, if you get a win – and you have you get a day you have
New York,
and you don't fly out till the next morning, you're going out.
In a city that you want to go out in,
you're going out.
You might not do it in like Salt Lake City, but like if you're in somewhere where it's cracking, you might go get a taste.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man. Shout out Zach LaVine. Keep doing your thing,
definitely.
boss. I'm definitely appreciating it. I apologize about everything I said about you. You earning that $78 million, no doubt. Let's move over to the Bears.
Bears
busted the Bills' ass,
of course,
on Sunday.
As we should have.
Peterman is still the turnover GOAT. That's what was on the board.
And a lot of those weren't even his fault, but it doesn't matter. Bad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Plagued.
He just sucks.
Ball bouncing around. It just lands right in people's hands.
You almost feel bad for the dude, but then I looked up. He's getting like 900 this year, so I don't feel bad for him, but he sucks.
That is the automatic go-to when people are getting wild slander, and I'm like, dude, this campaign's making $3 million.
Yeah, he's fine. He's happy.
Like,
he's good.
He can eat all this slander. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's what it is in the league. And that's why it's a big deal. Like when dudes are making 20, like when James Harden is making $30 million and he disappears in the playoffs, you need to hammer him.
Yeah.
Because this is what we're paying you for is playoff time, and all of a sudden you don't want to show up. So, like, that's a problem.
Yeah. But Peterman, back to Peterman.
Yeah, huge W.
Yep.
How you feel about the game? I loved what the defense did.
Loved it.
Just because, I mean, it was against – This is what I always come back to. Like, I love what the defensive. I loved what the defense did, even if it's against a bad opponent.
Yeah,
they smothered them, they smashed them, and it's an NFL football team.
You're supposed to feast on bad opponents, right? That's 100% what we're supposed to do if you're a good defense, especially a defense like the Bears that's aggressive, opportunistic, everything like that. And we 100% did that, right? I mean, I think we took advantage of that game. Obviously, 2 touchdowns, 4 turnovers. Just really came after them on defense. I love the attitude of the defense. Like, that was one of my big takeaways from the game is just watching that defense, even watching Khalil Mack on the sideline. Like, he's fired up. Like, that whole defense, man, they're just dogs, right? Like, you see the way they swarm to the ball. You see when it's up in the air, somebody's going up to get it. You see how excited they are. You just see the way that they play. Like, they love playing defense. They can't wait to get back on the field. So, yeah, to me, man, it's a thing of beauty when that defense is firing on all cylinders, 100%.
No doubt.
Other takeaway I had, though, is offensively is still it's very hot and very cold. Like, very hot and very cold. 2 big things. Obviously, Trubisky's still struggling, in my opinion, right? The inconsistency, you can call it inconsistency, and some people try to make that, like, sound better than what it is. To me, it's struggling. I think he missed a lot of throws again. He's still not showing me that what I need to see overall. That interception, you just can't throw that ball.
I just don't get it.
You just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things you can't, in week 9, 10, whatever we're at, in a playoff team in the hunt, make those throws. And what is it? It's another fucking downfield throw that sails on them that goes to the land of nowhere. There was nobody there. There was no reason for that ball to go over there. I can't even see if it was a miscommunication how the ball ends up there, right? So
You're
one
the
thing
first person I thought of when that
yeah,
happened.
of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure. You know what I mean? And I was watching it with Will, and he goes, "Man, that was the point that you were just making the other day." I'm like, "Yeah, it's right there." And again, man, I don't want to completely cut them off. But one thing I like that they did when they came out is it did seem like they ran a little bit more conservative approach of the offense, and it looked okay.
Well, the game was over so early.
The game was over before it started. The game was over on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's keep it real.
Yeah, so it was. They definitely pulled it back.
They did.
Jordan Howard got quite a bit of touches. I think he had 14 carries.
14 carries, yeah.
That's what we say?
13.
What did we say? The max was 15. He'll never
13,
see over 15.
Never see 15.
Yeah, 13 is about the max.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in a blowout. Think about that. That is in a blowout where the at the end of the first half it was what 24-0.
I think we only ran like something like 40 or some ridiculously low number of offensive plays.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's 28-0 at the half.
Yeah.
And he still had 13 rushes. So
Yeah.
like that's going to be the max, like we talked about.
Yep.
He's not going to get crazy carries. But on the low, he has 5 touchdowns, which is
He got 2 the other day.
yeah, which is not a bad number.
But yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was happy to see him start at least get in the end zone. If he's not going to get a lot of touches, that'll keep him going.
Yeah, well,
If he's not getting a lot of touches, but he's scoring touchdowns, he'll keep quiet.
Yeah,
He'll be happy.
Tariq Cohen doesn't have value down there like that. It's in the running game. But, I mean, that was another note I had, though. But do you feel like at some point they need to figure out – I mean, overall, the offense, in my opinion, needs an identity. They need to figure out what their identity is, but specifically with the running game. So you had Jordan Howard, 13 carries for 47 yards the other day, but Tariq Cohen, 5 carries for 6 yards. Just at some point, you got to figure out what you want to do running the football and what kind of running team you want to be.
But this also goes back to what I'm saying about every time Jordan Howard's out there, he can't run it because he needs that deception. So when Tariq's in there, it can't always be a screen. It can't always be a pass. So that's why he kind of has to give Tariq some carries because they don't want to have this situation like in Baltimore where every time Lamar Jackson comes out, it's a quarterback option.
No, I understand
what I mean?
that. But you still need to I don't feel like they establishing the running game is not important to them, in my opinion. It's just not.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
At any point, I just feel like, again, man, with this Trubisky situation, you kind of have to start.
Nick,
you have to do it.
Nick, listen.
Or I guess it's a BU.
This established the running game.
It's just not.
It's just not like he's going to establish it just enough to where he thinks he could run a play action or a jet sweep or get the ball downfield. Like, I understand what you're saying.
But how long is that going to go on? How long are defenses going to respect
until Matt Nagy is the coach?
How long?
Until he's not the coach anymore, that's what's going to happen.
But in order for the play action to be effective, you have to have some threat of running the ball.
And he's been. I mean,
we're
he's been running it.
We're getting worse.
He's been running it. Though.
We're getting worse.
he's been given the ball. He's been running the ball. You know what I mean? Like so. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
I'm worried about in a game when push comes to shove.
30, run the ball.
I'm worried about, dude. I'm just feel like, man, we have feasted on subpar opponents in this first half of the season, and I'm just worried that when it gets to the real games against good opponents that matter, that we don't have an offensive identity, we don't really know what the fuck we're trying to do out there, and we have a quarterback who isn't making the best decisions.
Yeah.
It worries me because the defense is Super Bowl caliber, right? Like the defense is Super Bowl caliber. This is a top defense in the NFL. When the defense is firing on all cylinders, it might be the best defense in the NFL.
Absolutely.
So, and a defense that's capable of turning the ball over, putting points, you know what I mean? Like drastically altering an offense's game plan. But I'm worried that it's going to be all for nothing in certain games because we just don't know what the fuck we really want to do offensively.
And that's why we pay Matt Nagy the big dollar to adjust and figure out a game plan.
So what's the adjustment for you? What's the adjustment? Because you don't want to cut it off. You don't want to try to establish a run. Are you happy with where we're playing offense right now? It seems like you're good.
No, I'm not. I'm not. He hasn't been playing very well because, like I said, the pressure is now ratcheted up because our defense is Super Bowl caliber, right? So like he needs to progress, and he needs to progress more quickly than he is right now. I mean, we're winning, or we beat up on two garbage teams in a row. The perfect segue into what I'm saying and kind of what I talked about in the graphic was for me, and in the intro, the season starts Sunday,
right?
Like we had the game against Green Bay, whatever. We lost. We should have won it, right? The season starts now. We play Detroit, Minnesota, Detroit, with two of them being at home. Yeah. We need to win two of the three of those games.
I think we need to win all three.
Do we need to win all three outright?
We need to win all three, yeah.
Do you really see that happening?
No, I don't. That's the issue.
Why do you think we need to win all three?
Because I just feel like I don't want to leave anything up to chance. I mean, at the same time, I don't think like it's not going to take 11 wins, obviously, to win this division. So,
so why you say that? You would like to win all three?
Yeah, I would like to win all three because I feel like we just need to be rolling. Yeah, we need to be rolling. 5 straight. Winners of 5 straight, that sounds good. Then I'll start to have some confidence, but I think we need to win all three. We need to dominate this division.
I will say this. We need to beat Detroit both times.
Both times.
Because we have to play Detroit twice. Then we have to play Minnesota one more time after we play them initially, and then of course we have Green Bay, and that's another reason why I think we win. They always beat us. They always beat us.
Oh, they weren't making you uneasy in week 1 when you were so fucking confident, but now you've come. I told you. Let's
just keep it 100.
You know it.
I mean, I'm confident we can beat them, but we seem to always lose.
We seem to always lose. So that's why we got to win the next 3.
So and we're not going to win at Minnesota.
Right.
Let's just keep it 100. I don't think we win that game.
I
don't think, people need to cut it out with this Minnesota shit.
Yeah.
They're the best team in the division, and they're one of the top teams in the NFC. Everybody needs to cut it out with this shit.
But let's see Kirk Cousins play some meaningful football down the stretch because he hasn't been doing that the last few years of his life.
Yeah, we will.
I like Kirk Cousins. I think he's a good quarterback. You know what I mean? He's solid.
I'm gonna tell you this.
I want to see.
We will lose that game in Minnesota.
Okay.
Like that's not a discussion for me.
All right.
So that's why I'm saying we need to beat up on Detroit and all that. Let's talk about Eddie Jackson, Kyle Fuller, and their game on this past Sunday. Kyle Fuller's all of a sudden catching everything.
Yeah.
The only thing he's dropped all season was the game in Green Bay.
Did he drop like 6 picks last year?
Yeah, he dropped like 100 picks last year, and now he catches everything.
Yeah.
The only ball he's dropped was the one that we needed him to catch in Green Bay.
Yeah.
He looks good. He was doing his thing. Man, I just love the D. I love Eddie Jackson. People don't strip, scoop, and score and go to the house like that.
You've been on it. Eddie Jackson was watching that Peanut Tillman tape.
Bro, you just don't do that stuff. Like, only ball players do that. You might strip them. You might recover it. But to strip, stand up, scoop, score, and be untouched.
And go home,
you got to be an elite type athlete, ball hawk to do that.
One of them Bama boys.
One of them Bama boys, and that's exactly what he is, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, he had a couple off games here in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Where he was blowing some coverages, missing some tackles, etc. He's still young.
Tackles,
but I think he has.
Well, it's the same thing with Fuller. I mean, Fuller's the same thing too, man. It's a bit of feast or famine, right? Fuller's gonna make some ridiculously good plays. He's gonna have an awesome game, but then he'll have games like when he was getting burned in Green Bay.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? And that's just kind of how he is.
Eddie Jackson has, I think, 3 touchdowns in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He plays safety.
Yeah.
So, like, come on. This guy's a ball player. I'm excited to see what comes of him and continues to come of him.
Well, here's the thing. With those type of guys, like we talk about, like Fuller and Jackson and those playmaker-type guys, when you have a front 7 like we do, you can get away with their shortcomings. You know what I mean? They might not be the best in man coverage and lockdown-type guys, but what's going to happen is when you're constantly putting pressure on quarterbacks, what are quarterbacks going to do? Make bad throws. Those guys are there to take them. It was the same thing that we had with the Lovie Smith Bears defenses. Remember Nathan Vasher? Nathan Vasher couldn't cover me, but if that thing was up there, he was taking it. That was his. That's what he did.
Facts. Didn't
cover anybody, just picked off balls.
Yeah.
Don't throw anything bad my way or I'm taking it to the crib. You know what I mean? And I think that's the beauty in the construction of this defense, and that's what I love so much is that, you know, they're going to take the ball away. It's not like that Seattle type lock you down, you know, we got 6'5" corners that are just going to drape over everybody. It's we're going to wait for you to make a mistake. Khalil Mack's going to get in your face. Akeem Hicks is going to get in your face. Eddie Goldman might get back there. And you're going to throw something up, and these are the type of guys who are going to catch it and then take it to the crib.
Looking to take it to the crib.
To take it to the crib.
None of that, like.
There's a difference.
None of that get down and.
No.
I'm trying to go to
we
the
catch
house.
And we turn and we go.
We're trying
you know what I mean? We got ball skills. We got defenders with ball skills.
Yeah, it's lovely.
You know what I mean? So I love it.
I lost my train of thought. What was I about to say? Oh, Khalil Mack expected to play Sunday.
Great, yeah.
I'm excited.
He could have played last week.
He could have played.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. Who knows, man? Because when he did play, when he was hurt, man, he was hurt.
Yeah, they gave him a good 2 weeks though.
Yeah. So hopefully he's back and effective. And if he come, how do you feel about if he comes out and it looks like he's not effective? Just sit him back down again.
Yeah, I mean,
I want him 100, man.
Yeah, you want him 100%, especially for the play. You want him 100%. You know what I mean? So, you want him 100%. So, yeah, I got no problem with it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him get back. He can make. We already know what time is with him. Yeah. I think Matt Stafford is hoping he's not healthy. The Lions are struggling right now. Patricia is suspect.
Very suspect, coach.
So that is looking.
We're
catching them at a great time right now. They've lost, I think, 2 or 3 in a row, I think.
They're doing what the Lions do.
They're doing what the Lions do.
But you know what? They're also one of those teams that's capable of hanging 35 on you real quick, though.
Not against us, they're not.
They're just saying they are capable. Stafford is that type of quarterback. We've talked about this before. He can have one of those horseshoe games. Yeah,
well, I mean, of course. He's a good enough quarterback to go and do that. But we're catching them at a really good time where they're struggling. Patricia's under fire. He's yelling at people in press conferences.
Yeah. What was that all about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bro, you don't have that kind of weight to tell someone that they need to address you in a certain manner. Like, who the fuck does he think he is?
I thought it was hilarious.
One of Belichick's flukies.
And we were watching. Yeah, they've lost 2 in a row. They're playing us. They just put up 9 points in Minnesota. Greenberg made a great point on Patricia on Get Up. We were talking about how we watched Get Up. Shout out Get Up.
Love Get Up. Shout out Get Up.
Yo, shout out my boy JP on Get Up. Jesse Palmer's been on Get Up.
Yeah,
and I was actually on I was going back and forth with him on Instagram. He was talking about how he likes to do Get Up. He lives in New York. He was talking about how he basically gets up, he gets to drive down the street. He jumps in like an Uber.
Because the Get Up studio is right
Get Up Studios in New York.
Situation.
So he's right there. Yeah. So that's dope. Because when he does the college game day stuff, he has to drive to Bristol. Yeah. He said that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So shout out JP. But Greenberg made a really good point about Patricia, because Patricia's thing was saying, I guess the reporter was like slouching in his chair, and he was like, sit up when you have some respect or whatever. And Greenberg was talking about Patricia's the most non-head coach looking cat of all time.
Yeah, dude.
And you're trying
crazy
to talk about
beard and
and you're talking about people's appearance and their gig. Cut it out.
You have a freaking pencil lodged in your ear all day.
Yeah, no doubt. Bears are at home against the Lions on Sunday. I'm gonna go to the game. I'm gonna do some video. Hopefully, if you want to come through, we'll talk about that after. But I'm gonna do some interviews, do some stuff. So look out for that. That'll be fun. And Bears about to get a W again. Then we got to play Minnesota, and then it's ball game time.
Yeah.
Let's switch over to the Blackhawks. Let's keep it 100 like we were talking about before. We don't know shit about the Blackhawks. Yeah. I haven't watched 1 second of ice time of the whole NHL. Blackhawks or not.
In years.
And forget about this season in years.
Couldn't tell you last time.
Joel Quenneville got fired. He has 3 championships. I think he's been the coach for like 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
3 rings. I have a couple questions for you because we're not going to act like we know about the Blackhawks and what the season's been. From my understanding, they started off semi-hot and then went through like a little slump. But I got a couple questions for you. Are we in the age of overreaction? Like, so Rocky, Warts, McDonough, the rest of those guys, we're now a premier NHL franchise, right? We don't win for a couple years. Quenneville's fired. Are we in the age of overreaction? Like, are we getting rid of good coaches too quickly? A la Lovie Smith. Like, are we like that's an interesting situation, but are we looking to get rid of really good coaches too quickly just because they're not winning right now? Joe Madden's on the hot seat. Before Harbaugh started blowing people out at Michigan, Joe Harbaugh, I don't know if this is working. He can't beat Ohio State. They're looking to move on. Like, are we moving? Are we getting away? Are we like? Are people letting go of really good coaches? Like, the grass is not too greener. Like, these are good coaches.
So I don't know how this fits into all that because long answer, no, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of shitty coaches out there that get more credit than they deserve.
But these are coaches that are winning titles.
But with the Quenneville situation, from what I was reading, again, I'm not a hockey insider or nothing like that, that this was somewhat of an internal power struggle between him and management, like Stan and Scotty Bowman, whatever it is.
I think it's Bowman, yeah.
Bowman. And, you know, obviously the team hadn't been doing as well. Last year they were terrible. This year they were headed that way. And I think this was one of those situations where someone had to go. And they just made the decision to move on from Quenneville, right? Because eventually it was going to be one of them. So they went ahead and fired him before it got to that point. They cozied up to the ownership, got them to okay it, and they got rid of Quenneville and bought themselves a little bit more time.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Aaron, pull me up really quick. You know I rock with Sylvie.
Yeah.
Look at this tweet. Give me your thoughts. We're living in a Chicago sports world where a 3-time Cup champion and future Hall of Famer's fired. Where the guy who won a World Series after a 108-year drought and future Hall of Famers on the hot seat, yet the guy who thinks playing Justin Holiday 47 minutes in the game continues to get a pass.
Yeah.
So obviously I think that goes just to the front office and who's running each franchise and organization, right?
I think the thing with the Hawks that's interesting on that, though, is like the hockey salary cap is like super crazy. Like, you see, like, whenever you win, then, like, remember, like, they won, and then, like, 2 days later, they had to, like, trade Bufflin, and you get rid of all these dudes. So I think for, like, I don't know, you know, I think with, like, Quenneville, man, I think you have to navigate around that and still paying, like, 2-star players. But I do 100% agree with what Sylvie wrote on that. I don't think Fred Hoiberg sucks, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the front office.
The Madden thing to me
what he's talking about is the front office and who's running shit.
I think I don't know. You're a Cubs fan, man. So the Joe Madden thing to me, when I first heard that he was even on the hot seat, I thought it was crazy. But I guess people start breaking down all of his decisions, and I guess he does a lot of dumb things. But yo, he's always been that way, and people like that shit when he was winning. So to me, it's kind of weird. Yeah.
Well, what's your automatic window? What type of leeway automatically do you get after you win a championship? Like, do you automatically have your job for 3 seasons? Like, what's your window? Like, give me your window, because I have a take on this where, like, I think if you win a chip, you could fuck around, go 0-16 the next, maybe 2 full years of 0-16 before I'm giving you up.
Not if you're Ty Lue, apparently.
Okay, so like, what's your window on that?
I don't know, man. I think it's all based on the situation. I mean, I guess honestly, if you win a chip, Quenneville won 3 chips.
3.
So that, I think you develop, like, that would be like firing.
That's crazy.
That's like, here's the thing: if the Spurs went bad for like 2 years, would they fire Pop? Like, never. You know what I mean? Like, never.
Well, who knows now?
Would the Patriots fire Belichick?
It's almost.
I guess you don't know though, because what happens when you start losing is that's when the real finger pointing starts. Well, I was responsible for us winning in the first place, and you're fucking this up now. That's probably what happened with the Hawks. But so maybe that's how it goes. I don't know, man.
What's your window?
My window would probably 2 years. 2 years.
You get 2 full years.
2 years. If it's going downhill for 2 years, that's bad. If you have a bad year and then the second year you're on the rise up, that's good. But the Hawks situation didn't look like it was getting better.
Now let me give you a take, bro, because this is what I feel. 11 years ago, the Blackhawks weren't even on the map. Nobody was going.
They weren't on TV.
They weren't on TV. Rocky Warts comes in, turns shit around. Quenneville's the coach. He's been the coach the whole way. You win 3 titles in a 10-year, 11-year stretch. You can't come to him like, yo, listen, like, if you don't turn this around, we're going to have to let you go. Kind of let him be like, hey, these last 2 seasons, I haven't been to my best. I'm gonna separate myself. People that win 3 championships in 10 years, I don't think they should be getting fired in the middle of the season. I don't care about that. What I'm saying is that a franchise that wasn't on TV 10 years ago is now one of the biggest franchises in the NHL. The fans are as loyal as they come. A coach that led you to those 3 titles, you fire in the middle of the season, I'm not with that.
No, it's disrespectful.
I'm not with that. And if you, I don't know, obviously we don't know what was happening behind the scenes.
It has to be.
Then let him know before the season starts. Like, yo, listen, this lease is extreme.
Oh, they said that he was very close to getting fired at the end of last season.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, then why bring him in and be like, hey, listen, your leash is extremely short. I mean, I guess obviously he's a competitor.
I think he knew.
He's going to keep going anyway.
Apparently they did the same. They fired his. Come on, man. It's the same United Center politics that the Bulls employ. They fired his top assistant, who was his best friend. So they fired his, what was my man's name? Ron Myers, the dude who used to be with Tibbs. Remember Ron Myers when they fired?
I thought you were talking about some hockey stuff.
No. They fired his top assistant.
Yeah, they left him out on the island.
They left him out there and kind of let him know, like, hey, that is them coming in. I'm in charge. I'm the captain now. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is, 100%. And I think that when shit starts going bad and it's time to blame somebody, you know, hey, we built those championship rosters. You're not doing what you need to do anymore. You still have the players. Taze and Kane are still there. You're not winning. Bye. That's what it is, man.
How do you feel about firing coaches mid-season? Because never in the history, to my knowledge, have we fired a coach besides when LeBron
David Black. David Black. It all comes back to Ty Lue always.
Okay, so besides that, that's a little different. But never in the history of sports that I can remember have you fired your head coach mid-season and the season wasn't wasted anyway.
No, Pat Riley. Pat Riley relieved Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, but then he came down and coached. Like, that's a little different too. You know what I'm saying? So one of the best hoops coaches, one of the best ball coaches of all time, fires the coach and then goes and coaches. That's a little different situation.
I'm just go ahead and take this over, man.
That's a little different situation.
No, it never works. I don't know, man. I think it's all based on the circumstances. I don't think you do this to a guy like Quenneville. But you're also in the business. If you feel like this is truly you're wasting a season in which you can still salvage, and you feel like making this move allows you to salvage. But you and I both know that it doesn't salvage your season. Right. So no, you don't do it to a guy like Quenneville. Show the man some respect that got you 3 titles in the end of the year?
In a 10-year stretch. Managed your team and the young talent unbelievably.
But if you're a GM, don't you have a responsibility when something's not working and you want to move forward to start that process? Aren't you doing him a bigger disservice by stringing him along as a lame duck coach?
No.
Because that shit gets out. It gets out to the players. People know, like, hey, Q's not coming back next year. And then eventually people are just then you got a whole locker room full of people with their own agenda because they know the dude who's in charge right now won't be in charge next year. So actually, I don't know. If you make that decision that he's not your guy anymore, I think the second you make the decision that the coach isn't your guy, you probably have to go in there and relieve him of their duties.
But I don't necessarily agree with that.
Because you risk it coming out.
Because, well, then don't let it come out.
When the shit not come out, everything comes out.
Well, then don't let it come
out. Everything comes out.
Then don't let it come out.
All it takes is for me and you to have a conversation for there to be a chance of it to come out.
Don't let it come out. What I'm saying is that once you fire Quenneville, the season's shattered anyway.
Yeah.
He's probably in a better position to try to salvage the season than an interim coach. That's what I'm saying. And then at the end of the year,
if you don't feel like his voice resonates in the locker room anymore, not if you don't feel like he's your guy anymore.
I mean, like I said,
so what do you mean? You're going to pull him in and have the conversation?
But
this is any
there's
sport.
no way that we're not talking about any sport. There's no way that Quenneville's voice doesn't resonate, will resonate less than the interim to guys like Taze, Kane, Hossa, and the rest of those guys on the team, right?
And I'm not saying that it won't. I'm just saying.
So all I'm saying is that try to make it do what it do the rest of the season, and then if it doesn't, what I'm saying is you keep Quenneville in there. It seems like the season's not going to go how you want it to, and if you fire him and put an interim in there, it's not going to go how you want it to anyway. So let the man that got you 3 titles in 10-year stretch and put you back on the map as being a big-time hockey NHL franchise, let him dismiss him at the end of the year and let him kind of go about his business with dignity and all that type of stuff.
What if the year continues to get worse?
The answer is not fire the coach in the middle of the season for me.
Under no circumstance.
I mean, it's not going to make any.
It
doesn't make anything better.
If they completely tailspin.
It doesn't make anything better. That's me. At least
I just feel like I understand where you're coming from.
Situations, I guess.
But if I was the GM,
this is a proven coach that can win.
Right.
Like,
but if I was the GM,
circumstances that goes into teams not winning sometimes. It's not always the head coach.
If I was the GM if I was the GM of the team and I made the decision that my coach, I no longer have the confidence in my coach to go out there and do the job, regardless of what his track record is, regardless of what he did last week, last year, whatever. If I don't feel like that's my guy anymore, then me as a GM, I would make that decision the second I had that feeling. If I've gone through my evaluation process in my head and talk to who I need to talk to, and you're not my guy anymore, why would I string you along?
Because probably the only reason I still have a job is because of you and how you dealt with the team.
Well, now that's the ego. Well, now it's who's responsible for what. But if I'm the bowman and I say I don't believe in Q anymore, then you have to terminate him at that point in time. I'm not saying what they did is right, but I'm saying if you feel that way, then he's got to go. You can't sit there and rock with someone you don't believe in. You can't sit there and be like, man, I really need to get to the business of rebuilding my franchise, but oh shit, let me wait 6 months to do this because I don't want to disrespect Quenneville. So now that's 6 months where you could be rebuilding, reevaluating, trying new things that you might want to try, but you can't do because you have somebody else in there who's not going to do it your way. Right or wrong, that's how you look at it as a GM, and you got to move on from these people when you make that decision.
All right, we'll leave it there. Let's hop over to trending and the trending news of what's popping in the world. Yo, give me some love for going to vote today.
Yeah, man.
Good shit. November 6th.
Black people out
Aaron, did you vote? Yeah, everybody voted in here. Yo, I think it's going to be a big evening for the Dems, bro. Shout out. I hope we can bring it through. I was looking at numbers for Florida. It's looking blue almost, which is crazy. So shout out to everyone that went and voted. Did your duty. Good shit. My polling place was wild smooth.
Oh, yeah. Where do you poll? You're downtown?
I'm downtown. I'm right off Michigan Ave. Yeah. So it was smooth. I literally walked in. It's like in the lobby of an apartment building, so it was pretty smooth. There's a lot of booths.
Yeah, mine's at a school right by the crib.
Yeah, and it was super smooth. Shout out Eli for help with the judges and all that stuff. So I was locked in, bro.
I did some research last night, man. I actually started looking up some people, man. I'm not going to share who I voted for, but I made some changes in my life today.
Yeah.
As far as some certain things, but yeah, man, it was good.
Yo.
I'm always gonna vote, man. I regardless of whether or not, there's certain shit I just won't vote on, but I'm always gonna go to the polls and select something because that's obviously your duty. You're supposed to do that. You can't complain if you don't vote.
Yeah, I think that's key.
And you don't necessarily have to vote for everything or everybody. You know what I mean? Don't let people tell you have to vote for this or that. But go out there and vote, man. Exercise your right. There's issues on the ballot. There's questions. The minimum wage thing was on there for Cook County. The sick day thing was on there.
That's my favorite part of the whole voting.
That's the real shit that you're voting for.
Yes,
fuck these people.
My favorite part.
Like, vote for an issue that you may or may not believe in. You know what I mean?
Yo, and I love the markers. Those thin markers.
Oh, you did. I do electronic. I do electronic.
Oh, you do electronic?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I steal my marker every time.
Do you?
You know, you like got to connect.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't done the marker joint since I was in high school.
Yeah, I got the mark. I guess it's, at my spot, it's markers.
Yeah.
And I like feeding my ballot into the machine.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, man, that was fun. The dude at the voting spot yelled at me for being on my phone. And he couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't use your phone?
No. Well, this is what happened.
Because I had my ballot on my phone of the people I selected.
Yeah.
The night before.
He couldn't read my handwriting, and he was trying to make sure I was who I was, and I was on Twitter, and he was like, "Can you put your phone away while we do this?" And I started to curse him out, but he was a volunteer, so I didn't say shit.
Mine was interesting today. This dude, he was older, so he was trying to make the process go faster by asking people for their ID.
Yeah,
which you're not supposed to do. Or you don't. I don't think
I didn't show my ID. No.
Yeah, and I showed it, but I was about to beat him. I was like, "Hey, man, like I'm pretty sure, like in Illinois, you don't have to show ID to vote. You know what I mean? Like that's one of those things." But other than that, it was decent. I just thought that was interesting. I've never had them out there with the ideas.
It was a smooth process. So I mean, hopefully everybody else's process was.
Shout out the brother out there in Florida too. You know what I'm saying, man? My man Andrew Gillum out there in Florida, man. Shout out him.
Yeah.
I hope he wins. If I could go out to Florida real quick and vote, I would have voted for him. Or if he wants to come to Illinois,
he was up like 10 points. He was up like 10 points last night when I saw
man,
it.
You know, they're trying to.
He was crushing that dude he's going against.
Well, dude is wild, man.
Yeah, dude is wild.
Dude is stupid wild, man.
What did he say? He said, "I'm not saying he's a racist. I'm saying the racists think he's a racist."
Well, he's like, "I'm black. I was born black. Last time I checked, I'm always gonna be black." Like there you go. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with that dude, man.
That's funny.
Shout
All
out
right.
to him.
Couple more things we want to touch on before we get out of here. Cowboys are in disarray.
Trash.
That talk to me about your thoughts about that Mike Irvin, Stephen A. It was good, right?
I was so it's funny we were talking about, ESPN programming last week and how, it's like a guilty pleasure of both of ours. So I was watching First Take yesterday.
I should see if I can pull that up real quick.
And Stephen A, man, like first off, shout out to Stephen A. I put it on Twitter yesterday. If you hate on Stephen A, like I don't understand you, because that man is like the hardest working man in showbiz, right? Like even if you don't agree with his opinions, like dude is on every single ESPN show. He's constantly in character. He always brings it. You know what I mean? Dude brings a ton of energy. Like love him or hate him, like you have to respect his work ethic. His work ethic is crazy. You'll see him Get Up at like 7 a.m. and then he'll be at like Van Pelt Sports Center at like midnight. You know what I mean? Still talking, still doing his whole thing. But yeah, they had Irvin on yesterday, and obviously Stephen A had been bashing Cowboys the entire time. Michael Irvin, the playmaker, diehard Cowboys fan, Cowboys legend, was getting passionate, sweating through his suit yesterday.
Hold up, pull this up.
Just the greatest debate ever.
Look at this guy.
Look at Molly Karam, like, where am I?
What's going on? Hey, it can't be that hot.
He's so fired up.
The playmaker.
Mike, what's going on, man? What's going on? Did you
You gotta understand, this went on for like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yes.
Like it was television gold.
Look at how he's sweating.
Uncomfortable.
It was gold.
Ain't
it
nobody
was
else sweating. Yeah, White.
And I even said, I tweeted out during, I was like, yo, they need to replace Kellerman with Michael Irvin
Help
right
him
now.
out, Stephen A.
And just give me this every day.
Yeah, you can pull that down.
Give me this
Michael
every
is
day. I thought it was great, man. I thought it was great. It was organic. Like it just happened. It was wild, man. I loved it.
If you were a Cowboys fan, and we won't touch on this too long because this is obviously not a Cowboys show, but like, what if our boy, I'm blanking on the most famous dude in the world's name, Cowboys own Jerry Jones. If Jerry Jones owned the Bears and he was the GM and stuff, like, what would you do? Like, what could we do about that? How would you feel about that?
There's nothing you can do about it because he owns the team. I wouldn't be happy about these decisions.
Yeah.
The thing with Jerry Jones is like, man, like I understand what he's first off, he's done a great job promoting the Cowboys. Like, shout out to him, great businessman. Like he's made them a global brand or whatever. Dude, I don't know what Jason Garrett has on Jerry Jones. I don't know if he's got pictures.
He's a puppet. He listens to everything he says,
except for when.
But he's
trash.
He's the closest that Jerry Jones will get to being the coach, owner, and GM. That's what it is.
He is one of the worst head coaches in the NFL. The team consistently underperforms. Like they'll be good once every few years. They have games like last night where you lose to Tennessee at home on Monday night, which is unbelievable.
And your division's wide open.
Your division's wide open. Yeah. Dak Prescott, like, let's call it like what it is. Dak Prescott's trash.
Yeah,
he's trash.
It's looking that way.
Yeah, he's trash. He's done. So I mean, it's just. Yeah, I mean, I respect the guy who always wants to go out there and try to win. He's always going to try to make the big splash and things like that. He just makes the wrong splashes.
We'll leave it there. Let's close it out on these LaMelo Ball thoughts that you have. LaMelo announced that he's going to come. He's going to come back to high school, play ball in the United States, play against some top prospects.
And the only reason I really want to talk about at this point, it's just sad. I feel like, at first I was kind of with the whole LeVar thing, like, hey man, do what you got to do. Like, this is all great. He ruined this one. Like, he ruined this kid's opportunity to make it playing basketball.
You think so?
Yeah, I think 100% ruined.
Why?
I think
Why?
The kid was fine playing high school ball. He was a top rated recruit. He was a top rated in his grade, and he was going to go down to college and all that. He took him out of high school, took him on this circus tour that had him end up in Lithuania, end up playing in this JBA league, end up killing all of his eligibility, all that shit, just to bring him back to prep school in Ohio 2 years later or a year and a half later.
He can't play college ball anymore?
Didn't he get paid in Lithuania? There's no way that he hasn't gotten paid any money playing basketball for the past year and a half.
Oh, I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah. And then the other kid was freaking in UCLA playing ball, where he wasn't good enough to play, but he got in there because of his brother, and then he pulled him out of UCLA.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
This kid doesn't have a basketball future. Maybe LaMelo can get it all back because he's young enough. Dude, Jello, like the kid, what the fuck is this guy going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I understand it worked with Lonzo, but I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just kind of sad. Like, it's just like they had to ride with whatever their dad was trying to do for them. And luckily, Lonzo was good enough to where he made it to the NBA before all the shit blew up, but like the other two are kind of assed out.
Interesting.
Not to mention, if you're a major college program, would you want this kid to come play for you?
Listen, at the end of the day, if he can score and get buckets, like it looks like he can and will be able to. We'll see how he does against
it looked like he can as a sophomore shooting 60 shots a game.
Top prospects.
He's also lost out in like a year of development.
Yeah. Well, you never know what he's been doing out there. He might give it some time. You never know.
I know what he was doing out there.
He's 17 years old.
Yeah.
He got a lot of time.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that is No Catch Up Chicago for this evening. For Nick the Quick, I am Sean Little. Make sure you subscribe everywhere. No Catch Up Chicago, YouTube. Look out for this stuff I'm about to put out on Sunday from the Bears game. I'm excited to do that, get back doing that stuff, man. Stay locked at all times. No Catch Up Chicago, for Chicago, by Chicago. Listen up. I'm about to go see Toro.
Yeah.